Hashtag hello and welcome. My name is the Alpha Female and you're listening to Turnbuckle Talk.
Whoa! G'day, Maryse. Bushwhacker Luke here. 2015 Hall of Famer. And you're listening to Turnbuckle Talk. Yeah! Whoa!
This is pro wrestling's only modern-day Viking Gunner, and you're on Turnbuckle Talk.
Hey, this is Nick Magnus-Tolis, and you're listening to Turnbuckle Talk.
Hi, this is Leva Blue Pants Bates, and you are listening to Turnbuckle Talk.
Hey, this is Jeff Jarrett, the king of the mountain and founder of Global Force Wrestling, and you're listening to Turnbuckle Talk. Hey, fellas, you guys have a great day, and this is only because I'm talking to Canadians. It is actually spitting snow in Tennessee.
See?
Oh my God!
That's a great. We've had 70-degree weather here. We really had a warm December, and I get on the phone with damn Canadians and we're spitting snow. So.
It's spitting snow here in Sault Ste. Marie as well. This is Turnbuckle Talk, episode 359. Battles, promotions, and downfalls. I've got Carl Carafel with me, OMD beside me. My name is Chris Best. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Not too bad, not too bad. Nice, fairly easy day at work and still pretty steady. So I can't complain.
It was a very busy day for me today. I had lots going on, lots of calls, lots of watching people. It was a day. We'll put it at that.
Yeah. And it was a day as far as the wrestling news world goes. Like, I've used this term before, but we've got a plethora of stories that we're going to dive into. We're going to actually bookend the stories with the law, starting off with our first story coming out of the Calgary Herald. A warrant issued for Calgary-born wrestler Teddy Hart. Warrant has been issued for the arrest of Calgary-born wrestler Teddy Hart after he failed to make an appearance in a Florida court on drug charges. The grandson of pro wrestling legend Stu Hart, we know most of his history. We know he spent time in TNA. OMD, before the show, you told me he was in Wrestling Society X. What do you guys make of this? This is just one more thing added to the long list of the trouble that is Teddy Hart.
What could we say? I mean, people get in trouble with the law, and it just seems to be a continuous snowball effect, so to speak, when it comes to that. Some people are able to get out of it and change. Some people aren't, unfortunately. And it looks as though Teddy Hart is one of those that just continues to find it for some reason. Now, I don't know if this is a matter of him coming back to Canada and not being down in Florida to make the appearance, or what. We don't know, but all we know is that I'm sure his lawyer was in contact with him, and failure to appear, especially in the United States, generally means an arrest warrant is being issued for you.
Yes.
Jeff Hardy, Sonny, he falls into that category now for me. And the little bit that I've seen of him, and that goes back to Wrestling Society X. I missed his time in TNA. Even as I read the article before the show, I didn't even realize he had pulled a couple of jobber spots in WWE.
Yeah, he made several appearances on Velocity, Heat, those kinds of shows back in the day.
But, I mean, what a waste. And I don't know what the right word is, but I guess tarnishing the Hart name.
Yes and no. Yeah. I can see that. But Teddy Hart, as you had just alluded to, OMD, what a waste, because this dude, talented in the ring. Don't get me wrong, very talented. Used to love watching this guy wrestle. I'd hope he would, make it somewhere. But with his troubles with the law, I've pretty much given up on this guy at this point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah. So
Yeah,
do
it's,
we have
saying
any
according-
idea? Do we have any idea as to? I know we know what it is for, but has there been any other information in regards to it? Who has it? Stuff like that.
An arrest affidavit, it says here, an arrest affidavit was produced by the Titusville police in Florida. It states that Hart was pulled over in his 2022 Ford Mustang for speeding and failing to obey a red light of July 14th of last year. The officer said he detected an overbearing aroma of burned cannabis and found an unsealed medical marijuana container in his car, which also had a female passenger. He also stated that he found a Ziploc bag containing a blue powder in a fanny pack, along with Hart's Canadian and U.S. passports. The blue powder, however, was later identified, tested presumptive positive for MDMA. MDMA is ecstasy, for those that don't know. So the officer also found red pills and some other powder stored in an eyeglass that also tested positive for ecstasy as well.
Okay.
He's looking at some serious prison time for just the possession of ecstasy alone.
Right.
I don't know exactly like how much prison time he's looking at, but if this stacks onto his previous charges, which usually it will, he's going away.
Yeah.
He's going away. His wrestling career is done.
And he's served time before.
Mm-hmm.
For what?
So, I believe more drug charges or DUIs, stuff like that. He served time. It was never much. It was the weekend here or there, or that 1 month sentence, but he's a repeat offender now. So this is, I mean, he's hit Sonny category.
Yeah, and that's yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've reported on Sonny before, and it honestly would not surprise me. And I believe you are right, Bobby Stats. Teddy Hart was in the earlier version of MLW, the one that before Court Bauer closed the doors and reopened it.
Yeah.
And we got Basser coming in saying, how's it going? How is it going, Basser? And we've got something here.
Yeah.
We're just going to ignore that next comment.
Yep. Basser, good to see you. Always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you for stopping in.
Yeah.
So Bobby and Basser, what are your guys' take on this entire thing here with Teddy Hart and the legal issues that the guy is going through? Once again, going through legal issues. What are your guys' thoughts on that? I'd be interested to hear.
Yeah.
Definitely interested. It's a very unfortunate situation that that he's come into this once again, and that this is his kind of fallen on him once again. Basser saying Teddy has had a lot of chances from what he understands and what he knows, and I can confirm that he has had a lot of chances when it comes to correcting his legal issues, so to speak. And unfortunately, another time, this is another one where he had that chance. Bobby, I fully agree with you.
Yes.
Yep.
Bobby is saying, I hope someone is able to help Teddy Hart. I hope so as well. I don't know who or what is going to help, but I really do hope that something helps him.
Yes.
Yeah, I know his legal issues in the past has led to him being fired from promotions, being pulled off cards from promotions, promotions who don't want to deal with him again. I know TNA is on that list of promoters who don't want to deal with him again.
Yeah.
And that's sad too, given, again, like I had mentioned, he was a talented wrestler. He was very talented in the ring.
Right.
And because of his chances, his run-ins with the law, his chances for working for any wrestling company are slowly becoming slim to none.
Yep.
And he definitely was a good wrestler. I mean, you look at who he was trained by. He was trained in with the Hearts.
Yeah, trained in the dungeon.
Yep.
There was no better place for anybody to go to train than there at the time. Right. You've got some great organizations out there now that are really doing good things. That, like the Nightmare Factory is doing really good stuff. Al Snow's Wrestling Academy does fantastic stuff as well. But
Tyson Kidd and Natty's Dungeon 2.0 is starting to do some good stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look and your uncles are Bret and Owen Hart.
Right. Bret, Owen, Davey, Jim.
When your grandfather is Stu Hart.
Right.
A man who could have taught him discipline in the wrestling business, because that's what he did when training his boys to get in the ring.
Right.
Clark 39, we are doing just great.
Doing absolutely fantastic. Yeah, welcome to this here. This is Turnbuckle Talk. How'd you find us? We're always interested to know how people come across the channel and kind of how they found us and where they found us. We can see here that you were over on the Twitch side of things. We really appreciate that. Every view that we can get on Twitch really does help, so we appreciate you for that. Are you a professional wrestling fan? If you're in here, then you're in the right place for that. So, Tuesdays we give you news stories that maybe other people aren't necessarily talking about, and Mondays we do a Raw. We have the Raw Patrol, where our faces are on the screen as we're watching Monday Night Raw, and you get to see all of our expressions as we discuss the show. We have a number of different shows here on this platform too, so I appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, there's actually more to in this article too regarding Teddy Hart.
Really?
It says here, it says here last week a probation officer in an affidavit also accused of failing to provide a mandatory drug test, twice attempting to falsify drug testing, as well as not making the weekly phone calls to a community supervision officer. Now those weekly calls, they're throwing the book at this guy. They are throwing the book at him now. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And all over ridiculousness. Like, this is stuff that, calling, doing the drug tests. Okay, maybe I can understand if you're kind of hooked. Maybe not wanting to do the drug tests. I get and understand that. But those phone calls are easy enough. You can do that from anywhere in the world right now.
Yep.
And you're failing to do that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I just, at this point, I do wish the best. I do wish Teddy does come out of this situation. I wish he comes out of all situations and gets himself the help this man sorely needs.
That's exactly it. The help that he needs. But if he doesn't want the help, there's going to be no helping him right now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because in order to get the help, you got to help yourself first.
Yep.
Right. You got to want the help.
Yeah.
If he's not wanting that help right now, then he's screwed. He's screwed.
Yeah. So
hopefully maybe something comes about where they're like, okay, we understand, all of these issues happened and you didn't show up and the arrest warrant is now put out for you. And once he's arrested, maybe they'll give him the option of, hey, mandatory detox, mandatory whatever, you have to be here for, 3 months or whatever it is. Maybe that's something that'll be offered to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully that if he does go through that 3-month detox, that he listens to everything that the doctors and nurses there are telling him and helping him along with.
Right. Yeah.
But what do you say we move off of this story? Let's jump across the Pacific there to some New Japan news coming out. As Kazuchika Okada's last matches in New Japan have been announced. February 23rd, he will be in a 10-man tag team match. Let me just look for his opponent. Oh, for the 23rd and the 24th, he's got two 10-man tag team matches where he will be tag teaming alongside Tomohiro Ishii, Hiroki Goto, Yoshihashi, and Yo as he takes on Jeff Cobb, Great-O-Khan, Aaron Hanare, Francisco Akira, and Callum Newman. And his absolute final match on the 24th will see him teaming with Hiroshi Tanahashi, Ishii, Goto, Yoshihashi as he takes on Matt Riddle, Cobb once again, Great-O-Khan, Hanare, and Akira. This match just looks like fantastic written on paper right there.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of this for Okada's final match? What a way to go out, eh?
It definitely is a way to go out. Do I want him to go out? No, but I know that that's not an option at this point, unfortunately.
Well, the positive side is he's coming to our side of the world to do some wrestling. So
Yes.
True.
Yes.
Very true.
Where does he go from here? We can only speculate. We've all seen all the online speculation. So who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. But it also seems like a lot of that, I guess, old guard in New Japan, the Okada, Will Ospreay is just wrapped up.
Right.
And as well, that same weekend, we are getting Tama Tonga's final match.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up as well.
He'll be tag teaming with Tonga Loa to take on fellow members of his stable.
Yep. So
very cool.
Very interesting. But yes, it seems like that old guard is coming out of New Japan as we're getting these up and coming talents and some North American talents who are going over there for the first time, like a Matt Riddle, like Nick Nemeth.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just more and more excited to see this card. As Bobby Stats is saying, he's interested to see Matt Riddle and Okada on the same card, not just on the same card, Bobby, but in the same match.
Right.
That's right. That's right. That's the big thing. In the same match. These two in the same match. Now, I know that there are a lot of people out there who are indifferent towards Matt Riddle. I get that. I myself was one who was not really a big fan of Matt Riddle for a while. He grew on me. And I'm interested to see what he does and what he can do outside of the WWE and on the independent scene, no matter where he goes or what he does. And I would love to see Matt Riddle and Okada one-on-one. I think that would be an interesting matchup.
Yes, and I will take the indifferent on Riddle. But I mean, congratulations to him as he won the Combat One World Heavyweight title over the weekend. Yep. And then it's been announced that his first title defense will be against Daniel Healy.
Oh.
Formerly Austin Aries.
Yeah. Interesting.
Now,
that
Carl,
could be a very good matchup too.
You said you want to see Okada and Matt Riddle in a one-on-one match. I'm going to do you one better because on the 23rd, on that same show that Okada is having his first 10-man tag, Matt Riddle is going one-on-one with one Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Matt Riddle's going to die.
That's going to be a great match, though, regardless. You know?
Oh,
yes.
100% it will be. Anything Hiroshi Tanahashi is in or does is absolute gold in my books anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure that Matt Riddle is he's gonna be feeling the effects of a matchup with Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Yeah, and this is for the IWGP Television Championship as well.
Oh, for the title. I see that I didn't know. I knew that he was facing him, but I didn't know that it was for the championship. Ooh.
Yep.
Okay.
I got to find a way to watch this card now. I really do. Whether it's forking over the $9.99 or the $12.99 for us for New Japan World, I've got to find a way to watch this match.
If you do, just be mindful, and anybody that decides that they're going to purchase New Japan World, it looks a little weird on your bank statements, as Joe has told us in the past before. So it does look a little weird, but does equal out to about $12, $13 Canadian at least.
Yeah, I
in
was
the
going to
long
say the
run,
same thing,
so.
because some years ago I subscribed to New Japan for one of the Tokyo Dome shows, and it looked weird on my card. So
Yeah,
I
it
canceled it,
definitely
not
does.
realizing what was going on. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That was my subscription to New Japan.
Oh, jeez.
But no, this entire card as a whole looks amazing. Because we also got Zack Sabre Jr. and Yuji Nagata going at it. The main event, Dave Finlay and Nick Nemeth. Evil versus Shota Umino. Give me anything Evil does. I love it.
Yeah.
I want Evil to come to the WWE.
New beginnings, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. And it's 2 days.
I want
new beginnings, right?
Yeah, it's a 2-day show, and I want Evil to come to the WWE at some point. I really want to see him come.
Yes, I want to see him come to the WWE as well.
Yes. We're going to stick with New Japan, as we got some further New Japan news that relates to AEW as well. As one Rocky Romero is going to be joining the AEW front office. It's not speculated on what he's going to be doing. He's still going to be working for New Japan, wrestling matches and whatnot, but taking on a front office role with AEW. OMD and I were discussing what this could mean prior to going live with the show. OMD, why don't you care to elaborate on what you had told me?
We were sort of looking at him being a liaison between AEW and New Japan, since he does work both promotions. So he'd have the better eye for, okay, let's bring this guy to New Japan. Let's bring this guy over. Sort of that talent scout. Because he does work for New Japan behind the scenes and helped bring CMLL and AEW together for their working relationship that formed last October. So with him working for both, I can definitely see him being that liaison type of person.
Okay. Does that really warrant a front office job?
If he's doing liaison work as, say, a talent relations officer for New Japan, maybe.
But does that, as I think Carl's asking, does it warrant him working in the front office for AEW? Or is he just picking up and taking over QT Marshall's old position?
See? But even then, okay, for me, I feel personally that in the wrestling world, if you're going to be working the front office, then you need to just work the front office. Now, by front office, what I mean is like executives, stuff like that, right?
Right.
I back office. Okay, and I'm gonna just clarify. Back office, I feel, is more like you have on-screen role, but you're in the back as like coach, mentor, stuff like that, right? Front office, like writers,
right?
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Triple H,
Okay.
H, okay, and Triple H is a totally unique situation to this, but he could be considered both a front and a back office person. I feel more like a back office person is someone who you do still see on your television screen in some capacity. Front office means, like for the WWE at least, means Connecticut, means Stanford, means you're in the office.
So do you see Rocky Romero maybe taking on a role like the EVPs Nicholas and Matthew Jackson.
And then the Young Bucks are gone?
Who knows?
Okay, so what I meant by talent relations, because JR did the same thing. JR was an on-screen personality, but he was the EVP for talent relations in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that Rocky Romero, I still think, could do. Because let's face it, New Japan, you don't wrestle as many dates in New Japan as you would say in the WWE or AEW. You're once or twice a month with New Japan, right? So it wouldn't be too hard for him to be like, okay, I've got this EVP job with AEW, but I have this match over in New Japan, so I can do this match in New Japan, bring my AEW work with me, do it there, have my matches.
Okay. So you talk about JR, who, yes, was an on-screen behind a desk. What happens now if Rocky Romero goes to New Japan, faces Murder Grandpa, gets dislocated limbs and a broken back, broken leg, torn ACL, something, and now is out for 8 to 10 to 12 months. So now you've compromised Rocky Romero as the performer, as well as front office. I don't feel that it is a smart decision to have somebody working your office and wrestling at the same time. That's a personal opinion.
Right.
Yeah. But keep in mind, just because his arms are broken and he can't use them doesn't mean that a computer doesn't have text to speech.
True.
Or speech to text, I mean.
Right. So let's say talent relations, if this is the type of role that Rocky Romero is going to be in, you need to be going to and watching these people perform. How is he going to travel when he's laid up in a bed? He's not going to have that point.
At that point, he'd have to have the talent send tapes of their matches.
Not the same.
Yeah,
unfortunately, not the same.
But that's also how JR got a lot of the talents too, was the tapes that he got as well.
Yeah.
Right. And that was
25,
30 years ago.
Yeah. On the opposite end, when JR would invite them to do dark matches on Raw, he'd still be at the arena, but he'd be backstage watching it on a video camera somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
Or at ringside, or at ringside preparing his notes with the King for the Raw that they're going to be doing, or the SmackDown that they're going to be doing while watching that match.
Yes. Right. And I have this same article up because Chris sent it to me as well. So he does regularly compete in the ring for both. He is also the current MLW middleweight champion, set to defend the title against CMLL's Mystico at MLW Intimidation Games on February 29th, this being a leap year.
Yeah.
So now you've got him working it for 3-4 different promotions. Is he maybe looking to wind down his in-ring career? And
he's been at it. He's been at it for a while now. So I'm wondering too, because of what we discussed last week on Turnbuckle Talk, the whole poaching talent thing, like from Stardom. There's a fine line if Rocky Romero, let's say he does take a talent relations job, there's a fine line that Rocky would have to tread lightly on as far as hiring wrestlers from the promotions he's currently wrestling for.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's probably going to be more part of the like working arrangements between all of these companies.
And
he can sort of become that go-between factor of saying it's for this number of dates and we'll make sure he's available and we will do our best to keep him healthy for you for that show.
Right.
And I mean, the only reason I say we'll do our best is because we all know that accidents and injuries happen in wrestling.
Oh, yes, they do.
And if it is a front office position, and let's say it is EVP of Talent Relations, and he does get hurt, that doesn't mean that he's not going to have his own team of scouts that he could send out, we'll say, to go and check these out too, you know?
True.
Because I get a feeling JR could have done that as well.
Yeah, definitely. That's a possibility.
But as far as we know, this is all just speculation for what he could be doing.
Yeah.
Because the article told us nothing about what he's doing.
Yeah. And I believe me, guys, I went through 5 or 6 different articles to see if they found anything. Nothing. They all said the same thing. I do wish I know Rocky's got a plethora of knowledge when it comes to the ring, so I do hope that he helps AEW in this new position and helps AEW get back to where they once were, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we ready to move on to other news, guys, or have you guys got anything more to say on this situation?
No, I believe
I'm good. Let's go ahead.
More news is
good news.
All right, so let's move on to pretty sad and distressing news, I guess you could say. Maryse has been diagnosed with a very rare pre-cancer, and now she has to go under a total hysterectomy. Meaning that every one of her lady parts, or inside lady parts, are going to get removed.
Yeah.
Cancer sucks. I'll start it off with that. Cancer just flat out sucks, and I don't wish it upon anyone. And I hope she gets better from this. What do you guys make of this situation too?
Horrible.
Yeah, just like you said, cancer sucks. I mean, I feel for her, but I am very happy and thankful at the same time that she does have children.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's a messed up situation for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible. 11 precancerous tumors on her ovaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said 11?
And a few, 11. Yes. And a few that they found that were benign at that point in time, but they're sending them away for further testing. She's scheduled to go for the surgery in about a month's time. And I'm expecting that we're not going to see the Miz on TV during that time.
No.
Because you know that he's gonna want to be home with Maryse, with the kids.
Absolutely.
And doing everything he can to help her out, you know?
Of course. Of course.
Now, the 3 of us have had a friend who battled and kicked cancer's ass. So I can only hope that Maryse does the same thing.
Yes,
as well.
And I'm sure we've all had friends or family or know somebody that has lost their life and succumbed to cancer.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Miz does have a match against Logan Paul this Friday, but Parrish, I'm talking about when the surgery comes. I'm fairly certain he's going to want to stay home for that.
Yeah.
I would hope so. I would definitely hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is a difficult situation for, anyone to have to go through. I've kind of been through those situations where a full hysterectomy needs to happen. Clearly not on myself, but
right.
You know, a former spouse of mine that had some very, very bad medical concerns and issues as well, not cancerous, but things need to happen, and everything was taken, and it sucks. It really, it plays not only on the guy, because I mean, like, he's concerned obviously, but the effects that this has on the women, or on the woman as well, are astronomical.
Yep.
You have to think that this is now, even if the possibility, or the thought of let's have another child, that's gone.
Yep.
100% at this point gone. And mentally, something like that can be very devastating. So I'm hoping that Maryse has a good community of people that she can be with, or be around, a good support system as well through this. And for Mike as well, I hope that he has a good support system, because it affects both partners.
Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously it affects the woman a little bit more, because physically this is what she's having to go through, and mentally having to live with that for the rest of her existence. But it's sad, and I really feel for both of them, being kind of through the situation a little bit myself. It hurts.
Yeah.
Hits home a bit for you, eh, Carl?
It does. It definitely does. So
Yeah.
I offered to both Mike and Maryse my well wishes and my thoughts, and my prayers. And I really do hope that things go well, that I pray that the surgeon is guided properly, and things are done to the right way that they should be, and that everything is successful in that respect. But I'm remembering you guys.
Yeah. Best wishes to Maryse.
Us as fans, I got
Go ahead.
I got the chance to see Maryse wrestle live. She's actually, like, compared to what she was on TV, she's actually talented in house show matches. I will give her that. I actually really enjoyed the match that she had at the house show I went to. Very friendly woman at the same time. Very gracious in everything that she was given, that was given to her, or that she has done, or was given to her in the WWE. So I wish nothing but healing for Maryse and the Miz as they travel through this rocky road, as it were.
Yes.
It's going to be a long recovery time for her too.
It will.
As you said, Carl, both physically and mentally, it's going to take them forever to get through this.
Yep.
At some point, for the women, I can vouch for some of the women that I know in my family. This is something you never get over at the same time. You just live with it.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yep. Thoughts and prayers are with Maryse, Mike, and of course their girls. Get well soon. We hope everything is successful, and we want to see them both back.
Yeah,
we do.
And just for everyone, at least in Canada, we're talking about the mental strain that can happen. Reach out and find where you can get help if you are having those type of mental concerns. And the easiest way for you is 988 is a phone number that you can call. That's the number for mental health and prevention. If you need it, find it. There are places that you can go and things that you can do to find the help. For me, at least, I can tell you that from Canada, it's 988. And let me take a look here. I just had it. I don't know why it's gone now. Looks like it could be 988 as well in the United States of America. So Yeah.
And if
find
you,
those.
Yeah.
and if you can't reach out to counselors and things like that, if you don't have that confidence to do it, reach out to your friends, reach out to your family, let them know what's going on. They are there for a reason.
Yep. I know I'll speak for myself. This is my therapy. This is where I come.
What I've got on my screen and what I've got on this screen are the things that help me out. I'm talking NXT on my screen, wrestling, and talking, just sitting here shooting the shit with you boys.
Yep.
But let's move on to some more news with the law, as I'm calling it.
More bad news.
Yeah, this has been a very shit wrestling news day. News week, because this happened over the weekend. A pro wrestler has been identified in connection with a Portland, Oregon homicide. KYN CBS News out of Portland, Oregon has identified William Albert Haynes Jr., Billy Jack Haynes, in the shooting death of his wife, Jeanette Beecraft, at the age of 85. The police attended to his house early Thursday morning, where he barricaded himself inside the house for 2 hours. There was a huge standoff. He had shot his wife. He surrendered after the 2 hours. Police went in there, found the body. He was hospitalized that same day for a whole other medical issue that's not connected with the Thursday incident. He's expected to be taken to jail once he's released from the hospital in just a few days. Authorities said charges against Haynes will not be released until he's booked. This guy, we were just talking about mental troubles too. This guy's had his fair share of mental troubles as well in the past. He was a big name in the Portland, Oregon scene, trained once again with the dungeon under Stu Hart this time around. A lot of bad news coming out of the dungeon.
Dope.
Yeah. What do you guys make of this situation? Are you guys familiar with Billy Jack Haynes? I am.
I know the name. I'm not familiar with his in-ring work. I know when this started to break over Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend, there was other reports saying that his wife was not in good health. But yes, he had been identified as, I think he was probably trying to do it to be merciful, maybe trying to be that angel of death, but I think
that's not the way to do it, though.
No.
No, definitely not the way to do it.
It's not. And again, that's just speculation on my part. I'm not saying that he was or wasn't.
Right.
But Carl,
I'm not finding anything more. I'm not finding anything more on it right now. So I guess he is still hospitalized at this time. I guess one of the biggest things that I can say is that this line of work, the professional wrestling line of work, really does take its toll on people, physically and mentally. It does. Yeah, I'm not finding anything more on it. I know that I have, after I got out of the business of in-ring competition, that I struggled quite a bit as well when it came to mental. I still deal with the physical every day. That's not going to change, and I'm okay with that. I've learned to accept that. But the mental is the hardest thing to do and get over. And I know that a lot of these situations kind of come back to maybe a brain injury or a brain disorder of some sort. Contrary to popular belief, yes, when you are wrestling, there are times where you're dropped on your head. There are times where a kick to the face actually connects and happens, and concussions are a very, very prevalent thing within sports. And I'm not just saying pro wrestling, but we're looking, hockey, we're looking football, to a smaller extent, baseball. Maybe you want to start to play golf, because I don't think you're going to get a concussion there. But I think with this situation, I think this is going to open up once again. I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago, there was a large lawsuits that was being undertaken and looking into about concussion syndromes.
I was just going to bring that up because Billy Jack Haynes was named in that lawsuit. He was amongst that list of wrestlers who was in there.
Yes.
I think we may see that reopened again.
I have a tiny little bit more going back. His wife suffered from dementia.
And that's not to say that Billy Jack Haynes didn't, because he did take a lot of headshots in his time.
Absolutely. And I mean, the most notable case of this, I mean, this is the second one, but the most notable case of this is also the most taboo name in the industry, and we go Chris Benoit.
Yeah. I mean, definitely it's a possibility that kind of the same or similar situations, kind of happens. Maybe there was that, and I don't even want to call it a mental disorder of sorts, but maybe the injury.
Yeah.
Injuries that were sustained. Yeah, the trauma is a good word for that as well. May have played a factor into this. It's hard because I haven't gone through those situations myself, so I don't know what I'm thinking or feeling when having dementia. So or those severe brain injuries. So I really can't speak to that, but I say that it's a possibility.
Right.
And
absolutely.
that's personally what I think was going on, because as I stated in the article, Billy Jack Haynes, the shots were heard, the police were called, and he barricaded himself inside the house. Maybe he didn't have the mental capacity to even understand what was going on for him at that time. Right. And then when he finally surrendered, that was probably him coming out of it and realizing, oh, fuck, what did I do? And maybe that's why he's in the hospital right now. Maybe it is related to the murder. The police are saying that it's not, but maybe it is. We won't know until the next couple of days, the next few days, few weeks even.
Yeah.
But I know typically
I do hope we get some sort of resolution out of this.
I know typically in Canada, at least in a situation such as this, there would be a Form 2 that would be put into place, which is a 72-hour hospitalization and watch.
Yeah.
So it could very well be the same in the United States. I don't know, but I know at least here in Canada, a Form 2 100% would have been done and filled out and taken to the hospital immediately. And if doctors deemed mental capacity was perfectly fine, then the Form 2 would be null and void. Then they would be arrested and taken to the station. But if a doctor deems there is something mentally wrong, then they would keep them for at least a 72-hour period.
Yeah, because there are interviews on YouTube from CBS, from a bunch of Portland news web YouTube pages, where they interviewed Billy Jack's neighbors, and they said, like, before everything happened here, he was the friendliest guy possible. Like, he was just very inviting, had people over, always shared stories about his time wrestling, things of that nature. Just seemed like a very happy guy. And like they were just completely taken aback and shocked by what had happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah. It's happened. We need to wait and see what comes of this now.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
again,
just
another tragedy That, I mean, and it's really only been in the last 10 to 15 years that we've really started to see and understand the effects of CTE and brain injuries, brain trauma.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
I mean, going back to my first concussion in wrestling, I told the promoter I want to go to the hospital, and they're like, well, there's nothing that they can do for you because there's not enough research on concussions. And this was one that happened almost 20 years ago.
Oh, geez. Wow.
So it was just around that time that concussion research was starting to make headway. Thank you to one Chris Nowinski for doing that.
Yes.
By the way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
But yeah, this has just been kind of a shit news wrestling day, guys, and I think
I mean, we can top it off too with, you know, the whole situation in Impact, and where is that going to go now with Scott D'Amore having been fired?
We talked about that last week, though.
Did we?
We did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So
this comment I'll put up here from JJ says, I have had about 4 major ones where my legs stopped working. And that is definitely something that happens. Thankfully, I have never been to that point, but my doctor did tell me that I've had at least 3 diagnosed and maybe 3 or 4 undiagnosed that they could see. So scary situation for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just a very scary situation, guys. On that note, what do you say we wrap this up and hand out our socials tonight, guys?
Well, before we do, I just want to let
more
everybody
stories.
know. No, not really. Not really. I just want to let everybody know that on a personal level, that I have teamed up with a supplement group company. It is called Live Good. So I want everybody just to watch this for a moment. So Live Good is a site that has some really great supplements that are out there for those who want to stay healthy, from multivitamins to protein to a coffee, even some really, really good stuff. So if any of you are interested or looking for something to replace your daily routine, but at a better cost, I urge you to go and take a look at that site. Now, you guys know about Costco, and Costco is a membership type of place where you can go, you get your membership, and you get things at discounted pricing. Well, it's the same with Live Good. You don't have to get a membership. You can just go and make your purchases however you want. But there is a membership that you can purchase if you'd like, and that membership does get you discounts as well. So if anybody is interested in Live Good, I urge you to take a look at the website livegoodtour.com/KARLW. Go and take a look at that. Watch that video and see what Live Good is all about. Again, you do not have to get a membership, but if you do, there are some really good savings that are there available for you. And even some ways that you could put some money back into your pocket are available there for you as well.
Sounds fantastic, actually.
We can discuss it
now.
after,
Can we hand out
a little later?
Yeah. Now can we hand out the socials?
Now we definitely can. Yes.
All right. Let's get started with you, Carl. Where can people find you?
They can find me on Linktree, linktr.ee/Carl Carafel. That is linktr.ee/KARLKARUFEL.
Sweet deal. OMD. How about you, my man?
Well, the people can find me on the Book of Faces under my real name, Daniel Hrycyk, HRYCYK. On Snapchat, One Man Dynamic, capitals on OM and D. On Twitch at OMD17 and on Discord at OMD6370. Visually, the people can find me right here every Monday with you two, as well as Chris Parrish, Bubba Duke for the Raw Patrol. Right here every Tuesday night with you two gentlemen for Turnbuckle Talk, and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. with Bubba Duke on the Boar's Nest.
Now, how about Bubba was telling me some new YouTube channels about last night too?
That I don't know. You'd have to get that information from
Look
him.
on the screen rolling below you there, my man.
Okay, yeah. Again, I don't know. I let him deal with all of that stuff. So he's on the board at Boar's Nest with Bubba Duke on Twitch, and at OMD Bubba or Bubba OMD on YouTube. I don't know. He set all that up. So I don't have access to any of that.
So it'll be twitch.tv/Boar's Nest with Bubba Duke. And for YouTube, it will be youtube.com/@BubbaOMD.
All right. Oops. And you guys can find me at youtube.com at ChrisDamage83, twitch.tv, CBRS_entertainment, threads.net at CBestFilms83, Facebook.com, Chris.best83, TikTok.com, CBRS.entertainment. You can look for me Saturdays, 8 p.m. as I start off with Uncharted 2 on Saturday Night Gaming. Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, as we do the Raw Watch Along. And Tuesdays, right here, 8:05 Eastern, as we do Turnbuckle Talk. And stay tuned on my YouTube channel, by the way, because I've got something else in the works for that channel.
Ooh.
And on that note, gentlemen, Carl, what do you usually say at the end of the show?
At the end of every show, we make sure that we let everybody know that the world is a scary place. So take care of each other.